first read, so we'll have public comments first.
You got called to
Oh,
order.
I do. You're right.
Madam President, it's not quite 9 p.m. You have a couple of minutes for a stretch break.
Strict time,
And then
okay.
you can proceed.
Okay, Madam, can you note for the record, just the superintendent report and then allow public comment?
Okay. All right, just for the record, there is no superintendent's report at our current meeting, and we are going to open a special meeting. And with that, Mr. Rakestraw, can you take roll to establish quorum?
On the roll call to establish quorum for the special meeting, student directors are noted as absent. Director Lauder,
Present.
Director Williams,
Present.
Director Hutchinson, Director Barry,
Present.
Director Thompson,
Present.
Vice President Batchelor,
Here.
President Brohart.
Here.
Quorum present. We need an interpretation check.
Right. And can we have an interpretation check? Mr.
Interpretación.
Zajac?
Vamos a revisar la interpretación.
Yes, moving to interpretation announcement.
Vamos a
Thank you. We'll start with Arabic. Please only raise your hand if you need Arabic interpretation. Ms. Abdi, if you can come off mute and make the interpretation announcement for Arabic, please.
السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. للحصول على ترجمة باللغة العربية الرجاء اتباع التعليمات والإرشادات التالية. في أسفل الشاشة ابحث عن الدائرة على شكل الكرة الأرضية، اضغط عليها ثم اختار كلمة الترجمة واختار اللغة العربية. أما إذا تستخدمون الأجهزة الذكية هناك في أسفل الشاشة 3 نقاط كلمة تمور، اضغط عليها ثم اختار كلمة الترجمة واختار اللغة العربية. الرجاء كتم الصوت الأصلي حتى تستمع إلينا بوضوح. إذا أنتم متواجدين في البعد عن الزوم الرجاء استخدام خاصية رفع اليد الصفرى حتى نقوم بتقديم الترجمة باللغة العربية. أما إذا أنتم متواجدون في القاعة هناك أجهزة تقوم بخدمتكم. وشكرا. Arabic announcement is done.
Great, thank you, Ms. Abdi. Checking attendees to see if any hands raised for Arabic interpretation, either in person or through Zoom. Seeing no hands raised for Arabic, we will not start Arabic interpretation. Next, we'll go to Cantonese. Again, please only raise your hand if you need Cantonese interpretation. Ms. Ho, if you can come off mute and make the interpretation announcement for Cantonese, please.
各位奧倫社區人士好，呢度係奧倫聯合校區教育委員會會議。假如你需要廣東話翻譯，請你去熒屏嘅右下方點擊一個地球形狀嘅符號，然後選擇中文，咁你就會聽到我哋嘅廣東話翻譯。假如你需要廣東話翻譯，請你熒屏上面舉手俾我哋知道。多謝。The Cantonese announcement is done, Mr. Sechao.
Great, thank you, Ms. Ho. Checking attendees to see if we need hands raised for Cantonese interpretation, in person or online. Seeing no hands raised for Cantonese, we will not start Cantonese interpretation. Next, go to Spanish. Mr. Copenhagen, if you can come off mute and make the interpretation announcement for Spanish, please. Or
Yes.
Miss,
Yeah.
yeah,
I'm here. Sorry.
okay.
Buenas noches. Estamos haciendo un chequeo a ver si alguien en la audiencia requiere el servicio de traducción al español de la siguiente parte de la agenda. Por favor, levanten la mano en este momento si necesitan el servicio y vamos a continuarlo. Muchas gracias.
Great, thank you, Mr. Copenhagen. Checking attendees. I did see a hand that was raised. So we will start with Spanish interpretation, and that concludes interpretation announcement. Turn it to you, Mr. Rickstraw.
Madam President, the special meeting availability of interpretation announcements have been completed.
Okay, thank you. As you have the attachments are on the table for the contract, but this is the first read of Dr. Denise Sadler's interim superintendent contract. We're really pleased to have Dr. Sadler here. She is being hired for the period of July 1st, 2025 through June 30th, 2026, excuse me, with a salary of $357,053.83 per year. She's accorded the same salary and benefits as all other district employees at this level. I would like to ask Dr. Sadler if you would like to come up and make any comments or introduce yourself to the board. No pressure, but to the community.
Good evening. I just want to introduce myself. Obviously, I've met with the board, but I want to introduce myself to the public at large. I'm someone that started in this district in 1979 as a teacher, and I have many years of service as a leader, as a teacher, principal, and executive leader. I'm very committed to this community. I'm a native Oaklander, and I am concerned about our ongoing work, which is the focus on teaching and learning. So I'm prepared to do everything that I can to support the work of this board and our staff and to support our students and families. That's basically everything that I'd like to say. I'm participating in this meeting because I actually watch all of the meetings because I'm very concerned about our community and education at large. I'm available if there are any questions or anything else you'd like to know at this point.
Thank you. Are there any public comments on this item?
Yes, Madam President. We have 3. That's Santa Olagbala, Kim Davis, and Vivica Gikoiwal.
Thank you, and 2 minutes each.
Good evening. All of this is very difficult, and none of it is ideal. And I want to thank Dr. Sadler for being willing to do this, because I'm not sure that many people would. I know that she is committed to this district. But when I first met Dr. Sadler, it was when I was organizing with parents at Sankofa, when they were trying to keep their school open at their Sankofa location in Bushrod rather than being moved to Santa Fe. I don't know if you remember, but then Director London and Director Gonzalez thought it would be a good idea to consolidate Kaiser at Sankofa at Santa Fe. And what I knew of Dr. Sadler was that she had been involved in work with the 2012 closures. So I was nervous when she was brought in as an interim principal. I thought that she was brought in by Dr. Johnson Trammell to close Sankofa. And I was prepared to fight with those families to avoid having that happen. But I was very impressed with Dr. Sadler's commitment to that community and to that neighborhood and to the legacy of where her family, where she grew up in North Oakland. And she came and stood at this dais and fought for Sankofa to stay in their location. She listened to parents. She met with school board members, with superintendent, who I think she had on speed dial. So in the end, I felt like her commitment to students and families was real. And so I am grateful to know her and grateful that she's willing to take on this job. Thank you.
Madam President, there's an additional speaker, Oliver Brennan.
Good evening once again, Board. First, I'd like to say that the position that some of the community are put in is very hard because I know Ms. Sadler as well, and I've met her, and I know that she's an amazing woman. What shocks me and what angers me as a parent and a community member is that these decisions are made so quickly, there's so much instability, and it leads you to believe why. It leads you to believe what are the underlying things that are going on, and it's unfair to a lot of people. It's even unfair to Dr. Sadler that she's gonna have to get, she's in this position, and there's so much chaos and so much division And she's expected to, a brand new person that is not too familiar, maybe somewhat familiar of what's going on immediately right now, has to take over in this rubbish and this craziness. It's not fair to her, but it's especially not fair to the community, because all we're looking at is what is going on. Why are we not a part of these conversations? Why were we not told there's other candidates either? That's a big disservice. Why is it overlooked somebody who's been in the district already, that's already sitting somewhere, we're able to take over and keep doing the work? Why is that overlooked? So I'm not saying she's incapable, because I know that she is more than probably capable, but the way that this is looking, the way that this is done, it's unfair. The community is very, very out of the loop of this, and all that we can think about is whose allies are you guys thinking about, who are you answering to, and who are you saving face for? Because it's not student outcomes, because as I've already expressed, is that there's one policy that finally came forward where we're going to talk about it in a public meeting. We don't talk about student outcomes. So now we put in our position to now accept this person and know that she's a great person, but now what else is gonna happen? Is it gonna be a new vision, new everything? So that's even more instability. And I still wanna put out there that only 2 out of 10 black and brown students in Oakland right now can read on grade level, including some of those that graduated last year.
Good evening, board. I had actually registered online and I'm in here, but that's why I put the other card in just now. But, you know, we're seeing an erosion of our democracy in this country on a daily basis before our very eyes. And honestly, this school board is really not much better. This board majority has been mostly operating as an authoritarian body in 2025, making significant moves behind closed doors and never explaining actions in public. No transparency in the ousting of our superintendent, and no public explanation since. If our superintendent feels she was fairly treated, why has she not been at a meeting in almost 3 months? No transparency in the decision on who to hire as an interim superintendent in a special meeting at 9 a.m. on a Friday morning with 48 hours notice, and no Zoom set up for remote attendance. No transparency in dropping lawsuits to protect our district from unjust labour strikes. Nobody's against fair labour strikes. This board is operating in an undemocratic and chaotic fashion, with unvetted amendments to financial resolutions concocted live on the dais, resulting in serious unintended consequences. Tonight's special meeting has largely gone unnoticed by the community. It's another special meeting scheduled with a day's notice. It's very concerning if this is the way we're going to do business continues in the new year. How will we be able to work through stabilizing our finances, as mentioned by the CBO earlier, while replacing the superintendent who led us out of state oversight with somebody no doubt has skills and experience, but will need time to bed into the role? Why is it necessary to take that chance now? Why have you not explained the various whys for months now? Thank you.
Thank you. Ms. Olivali.
Okay. So I could go in a lot of different directions, but I'm going to try to move up. You have made a decision as a collective body to go in the direction you're going tonight. As a collective body, you have come to some conclusions that I don't know about and I don't understand. But I have to say this. This lady has been recognized. I don't know her at all, but a lot of people have said some good things about her. She has a history of doing things that have been progressive and positive. So I'm going to say give her an opportunity to do whatever she can do. And we will monitor it. We will monitor it very closely. And you're going to have to take responsibility if this doesn't work well. So I encourage the community, give this person, what is the name? I'm sorry.
Dr. Sadler.
Dr. Sadler. Give Dr. Sadler the opportunity to do what she can do. There is a possibility this can work out. Lastly, what I'm hearing is this is a direction that is in the best interest of OEA, and that OEA is controlling the board now. So let's dispel that, please. You got to do some damage control and make the communities begin to believe in this board and believe in your capacity to get things done. And I can't make any recommendations on that, except y'all have to deal with it within yourself how to do it. And I encourage you, Mr. Hutchinson, to work with the board, please. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Hutchinson.
Round of board, that's the last public comment.
Yes, Madam President, all names have been called.
Thank you. Board comments? Director Hutchinson?
Sure, I'll go first. I appreciate the comments, Ms. Olabala, but the issue is that there's school board directors that have refused to work with me, refused to talk to me, and quite a few of them haven't met within years. And so, you know, one of the reasons why all of this has been done behind closed doors through a series of 8 closed sessions starting on March 26th is because the school board has no justification for any of these moves. And that's the whole problem. Nobody has explained why Dr. Johnson-Trammell was forced out after 1 year of her 3-year extension. Nobody has explained why there was a choice made to go outside of the senior leadership team to bypass the second in charge who has been an interim superintendent in the past and choose somebody outside of that. And then there's been no conversation about why Dr. Sadler. So let me just say, this is not personal. I have nothing against Dr. Sadler. This is all about the process and how things are supposed to work. There's been plenty of time over the last 3 months for the board president to schedule a study session or a special meeting to allow the community to be informed, to allow the community to weigh in. And the fact that this is the first time and it was done this way at 9 p.m. in the middle of our regularly scheduled meeting, and we can see how many people were even able to attend, this is objectionable on every level. And so there's a couple of facts that people need to understand about this process. Not only was Dr. Sadler chosen over our second in charge, who was the other candidate interviewed, and I can hear the sighs here, but I always clear stuff before I say it. None of the candidates have been vetted at all.
Director Hutchinson.
None of the candidates have been vetted at all. And so that means no background check, no financial check, no nothing.
Excuse me, Director Hutchinson. I have to just say, we've talked about this many times about the legal issues that you're causing.
Well,
can you please refrain from going into personnel matters?
So I won't mention any more personnel, but the fact that there was no vetting done for this candidate isn't a personnel issue. It should be a legal issue. I don't know how we're here without having a vetting. So
Director Hutchinson.
So when do I get to address the fact that I asked for this multiple times, for even a basic background check for somebody who's going to have authority to negotiate contracts unilaterally, and those checks haven't been done?
Director Hutchinson, we've discussed in closed session where it's appropriate to give advice and counsel. And options were presented to the board.
Okay, so I made my point. There's been no vetting done, just like for tonight. No message went out to the community that this meeting was happening. I doubt that President Brohard asked Parent Square to put out a message. And so I have 1 more minute since I was interrupted there multiple times. A couple of other facts that are really important. Even though this job is an interim superintendent job, the board voted to pay this job on a superintendent pay scale, which is not what usually happens. In many cases, when there's an interim superintendent coming in, especially somebody who's been retired, they won't also ask for leave pay on top of it and these other things. And so what we have now is a contract of $357,000 plus leave and benefits, even though we are still paying our current superintendent for another actually 15 months between her superintendent emeritus and her payout. And so this doesn't save us money. This throws out all the work that we've been engaged in 3 years. The process hasn't been clear, and we haven't even done a cursory check to make sure we're not getting ourselves in trouble for something that we don't know. And now here it is being discussed where I count 6 community members, I think, in attendance here. This should send off alarm signals. I'm convinced that this isn't legal, And unfortunately, these people are putting us in a situation where all we'll be able to do is fight about it afterwards. And lastly, there is no way anyone could be successful, even somebody with the background in OUSD like Dr. Sadler. There's no way anyone could be successful in this situation, hired in this sort of way, in this sort of process, without allowing the community to weigh in at all. Thank you.
Director Thompson.
Yes, I would like to say Dr. Sadler and I have worked in the district for some of the same length of time, and I would personally like to say that I welcome you to OUSD in the role of our interim superintendent, and I'm certain that we as board members will work with you in order to get the job done. Welcome. Thank you very much.
Director Latta.
Yeah, I also, want to welcome you, Dr. Sadler, and thank you for your decades of leadership, not just in Oakland, but across the Bay Area. And I just would also say that as a parent in OUSD, have heard of your work mainly as when you were an interim an interim principal, and really appreciate the dedication that you have to the teacher-student relationship, to bringing students, families, community members, and staff together, because I do think that is something in your that you bring with you as part of your legacy that I think will be a strength as we move forward and leaving receivership and continuing to stabilize our district. And again, just thank you for all of your work and welcome. Looking forward to all of us working together to support you and our students.
Director
Williams. Dr. Sadler, thank you for applying. Thank you for the years of experience you're bringing to this position. Very confident that you'll be an example of what we all need to be, moving in a restorative, respectful relationship. So I look forward to us having engaging conversations. Your 40 plus years of experience, look forward for you bringing that to the board. And thank you very much for taking this on. We appreciate you.
Director Berry.
Dr. Sadler, welcome. It's good to see you here in person so that you can feel all the energy. I appreciate the folks who have spoken today, who have held space for two truths. At the same time, not wanting to be in this place, but also having a commitment to your leadership and what that might mean for OUSD. You have earned my respect. You have earned my support, and I'm eager to see you model what your reputation has conveyed, which is an unwavering, a steadfast commitment to students and to excellence, because that's what they deserve. So excited to have you on board. Thank you.
Vice President Badler.
Thank you. I will join the chorus in welcoming you, Dr. Sadler, to this position, and I look forward to working with you. I will just say that I'm not going to shy away from my 15 years in the labor movement and my experience in the labor movement. And one of the things I really appreciated about you is your leadership within the Oakland Education Association when you were the president. I also appreciated in the interview and the discussions I've had with you, how you brought that into your role as both an administrator and then a supervisor to administrators. Your dedication to understanding the contract and adhering to the contract is something that I think is really important for us, because so many times we have labor disputes that are unnecessary because we are not understanding our labor partners' collective bargaining agreements. And so I look forward again to working with you, to making sure that we have labor peace and that we have labor understanding in our district, so that those amazing folks that work in our district can pour everything that they can into our students and make sure that they're supporting our students every single day and those families. So again, I look forward to working with you, and I can't wait for you to start.
I want to also join in welcoming you. I feel like I've worked at places just after you were there, so I have heard about your reputation for a long time. I appreciate deeply your concern for teaching and learning and your experience with that. Welcome you to the district. I look forward to community engagements. I look forward to working with you, meeting and discussing teaching and learning. And I'd invite you to come to our teaching and learning committee. Yeah, we all like it. It's a good committee. So again, I appreciate you taking the job. I look forward to the next year and what we can produce for our students and our families and teachers. Thank you. I will now adjourn the special meeting and return to our original meeting.